Hi, everybody. I'm so sad that this is the end. This is by far one of the best courses I've ever taken. I really feel like bursting out singing Frank Sinatra's My Way, but I'm not going to torture you. I'm just going to talk about personalized learning. Thank heavens for you. Strangely, when reflecting or reading back on my pre-reflection, I pretty much hit the nail on the head. I had a good idea about what personalized learning was. I understood that it had a lot to do with student empowerment and student choice. Of course, my mind immediately went to differentiated instruction, which is really what personalized learning is. And I would say that now the greatest difference is not just in knowing what it is, but how to achieve it, how to implement it, what those things are, and using the 9 essential conditions to get it fully implemented. For instance, the varied assessments, all of the tools we've learned in this program so far, things like Flipgrid and Canvas and Twitter and really using the Twitter hashtags to engage, social media in general, all of those things and all of the things I couldn't even name because it would take days. All of those things can be used as forms of assessments, as forms of collaboration, as forms of communication, and how that matters when assessing a student and achieving mastery. And I would argue time is probably the greatest barrier, because true mastery shouldn't have a time. And as a public school teacher, I'm not afforded that luxury. But what I did learn and what I do know now is that I can help students attain mastery in the time that I have allowed. We can still apply pacing as a means of helping students achieve mastery, but it just has to be, it has to have its limitations. Student choice, student voice, having more student surveys, asking students to engage. In an English language arts classroom, I can see where a personalized learning environment, personalized learning plan could really be implemented and successful, because in an English language art classroom, students can choose what texts they use. They can choose different ways to do assessments. For instance, you can write a paper, you can write a song, you can create a video. A lot of these things are things I've actually been doing for years. I would just never have categorized them as personalized learning. It allows so much to be done, even though it's seemingly complicated and time-consuming to initially plan. Once those plans are done, how great it is for students to be able to have access to that. I've already this school year gone to the Athens Teacher Reuse store, and I've gotten some tables and chairs, and I'm going to have 2 reading nooks in my room. I'm fortunate enough to have a class set of tablets, and so I'm really hoping that by the first day of school in a couple of weeks, I can fully implement my personalized learning plan with all of those things. Of course, I'll be in the classroom as the facilitator, and so my students will have access to me in the immediate sense, and so that is really fortunate. I get to sit down and conference with them personally, and not just on discussion boards or blogs or through Skype or whatever other means. I'll physically be there. And I'm really excited. My focus in my pre-reflection weighed heavily on student empowerment. And in my pre-reflection, I noticed a lot that I talked about the student, because it is a personalized learning environment is very learner-centered. But what I didn't focus on was that it's a sense of empowerment for the teacher too. It is empowering to see all of your students be successful. And it is empowering to have that autonomy in the classroom to create an environment in which all students learn. And, you focus on mastery learning instead of the traditional type of learning. And the very little bit I did last semester when I first started doing this, for instance, implementing, Flipgrid as an assessment or transferring some paper exams into digital format, the kids were extremely responsive. So I'm fully confident that everything I've learned about personalized learning is going to benefit my students, but it's going to benefit me too. And I too am a learner. I'm a lifelong learner. So when we talk about a learner-centered environment, we think of the student because, of course, the student is the person we want to be able to master or show mastery. But I think in our own way as a teacher, we're the learner in the room too. And we also are trying to achieve mastery. So that is what I know now. I know the 9 essential conditions are critical. I know varied assessments are critical. I know that mastery disposition, prioritized executive function, learner choice, communication, collaboration, all of those things are critical. And it really does put the onus on the student. And so the teacher can fully facilitate and offer differentiated instruction. And so I'm really excited. And I really feel like I've probably learned more in this class than I've learned in any other class. If nothing else, this class has really taught me things that I can take to school on the very first day that will make me a better teacher. So I'm very excited. Thank you.